You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Chasing Maria Menounos After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Chasing Maria Menounos After Show.
Doors the whole night, what we've got in store. Whisper in my ear that you want some more, and I jizz in my pants.
I never know when it's starting, you guys. Very good.
That's all right, we're here.
It's okay, it's all good. What's up, guys? Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm Susie Castillo, and we are talking about Chasing Maria Menounos. It's episode 5. Love the title of the episode, Over Budget, Underspermed.
Story of my life.
Awesome. My co-hosts tonight are these lovely people. Let's start over here with Roxy.
Hi, I'm Roxy Striar.
DJ Jesse Janedy.
Steph Bauer TV. Oh no, just Steph Bauer.
Wait, what?
Oh my god, is this our Twitter? Okay, Steph Bauer.
Jessica King.
Damn, give y'all some Reese's before the show.
Hey, we got Easter Reese's.
We're like hopped up on chocolate. It's
We're like
amazing.
3-year-olds right now.
Can't get these guys.
And of course, we have a special guest, Kathy Kelly.
Oh my God! Yes, hello.
Hey.
I recognize her.
Rex.
Hey.
Little mask.
Rex is back for his AFTERBUZZ debut.
I know. I wish the camera added 10 puppies instead of 10 pounds.
Okay,
This
you
one
looked gorgeous, girl. Don't even go there.
Or were you trying to come for Rex?
She dressed up for Rex.
He's a little chunky though.
And then we have Phil Svitek in the booth, who was a huge part of tonight's episode.
mean,
Yes. He's not wanting to be a guest on the show, but we're gonna make him spill some stuff. I think.
I think you should. He could certainly
can't
interact with us from the booth. Yes.
I mean,
Can't
he is
ignore
the
it.
EP,
He always
yeah.
does. He pops in with a little tidbit of information. Now when we want him to talk, not a peep.
All right. Well, Phil, we might ask you some questions.
FYI.
Still no peep.
Nothing from the.
Nothing.
We'll have to say something that he just can't resist.
I'm gonna
not
take a picture of him
responding.
and post it online while everybody's like.
So everybody, we should
Yeah.
just videotape
I know.
him and then we can post it. Well, Kathy, it's so nice to meet you. This is the first night that I met
it's good to meet you too.
And you guys met, and Roxy was on the episode
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, a little bit. It was an interesting meeting, and it definitely was very accurately shown when we watched it on here. Maria was not very pleased with us that day.
She did not seem pleased. There's nothing like going over budget by thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But this is Studio C, yeah?
This is
Here we
This
are.
is the studio.
It
that
was all
talked
worth
about.
it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the result of us asking for $50,000, which is not pocket change for anybody.
Right,
So,
right.
But I mean, we got our way.
And it's beautiful, by the way. You guys did such a fantastic job with the entire place, but I mean, this studio is so badass.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I will say that, as much as it cost, Keven was really good about trying to cut corners on, or not cut corners. It's still really good quality.
Doing his own work all the time.
Doing his own work, yeah. Coast us. I mean,
Yeah.
helped build this place. Joe helped build this place. Keven helped build this place. The AFTERBUZZers were out here pretty much every single day, drywalling and painting and hanging, TVs and stuff. So it was a team effort, and I think that they actually saved a lot of money by doing that.
Absolutely. And it's so crazy because actually when I first started here 4 years ago, we walked into this place and I was like, oh, well, there's no room for expansion because they are using every single inch of it. You guys that have been here for years know that. And so when they decided they wanted to build a second studio and then a third studio, I was like, well, where the hell are they going to put it? They're going to have to buy another place. But then we had a screening room, and they cut it in half, and they decked it up so that it looks like an amazing movie theater. And then they made this studio. It's just like, I feel like now we got to start building up because there's no more room to build out. So like you're saying, they do it all themselves, and they really thought outside of the box, which is really cool.
I could have never even imagined this. Like, it was a garage.
Right.
Like, I would have never imagined that all of this would come from it, you know?
Yeah,
I still get lost. We literally watch the show next door, and every time I'm like, where are we going? I'm so lost with all these studios and screening rooms. It's amazing.
It's so cool.
I can't even believe
Very
it.
professional.
And just when we have, any celebrities come in or guests from the shows, they come in and they look at this place like, are you kidding me? You guys built this? This is, it's like, it's inspiring. Almost every person that I've dealt with who has come through these doors has been like, this place has inspired me to do so much.
I equate the studio to Mary Poppins' bag because it looks so small from the outside, but so much fits into it.
It looks like a tiny little house from the outside.
And there's something different every time you look in a studio. Like now we have wall panels, and everything's always changing.
But it's crazy because, like you're saying, Jesse, even when we have celebrities in here, we have the biggest A-list celebrities that come in and they are like, what is this magical land? Because they walk outside, you can see them all kind of looking like, am I in the right place? They come in, they're like, damn right I'm in the right place, and it's really amazing in here. So that's incredible. And I think it's really cool how we learned tonight where their money goes, not to Louis Vuitton, not to any of those things. They're putting it in an investment in their future, which is this place, which is what we all work so hard to keep running.
Yeah.
So I think it's really badass, as you said before.
Yeah. Kathy, break it down for us. Why was this episode such a big deal? Like, if Keven didn't get the $50,000, why would that have been, like, the end? Because I don't know if that was stressed enough, like, he had to get the money or this wouldn't happen. So, like, tell us what was really going on behind the scenes that was so dramatic.
You guys all know how fast AfterBuzz has grown. I mean, no one really thought 3 years ago. It's the 3-year anniversary of AfterBuzz today as well.
Oh my God!
Or like this time, So it's been around for 3 years
you
now.
guys, to AfterBuzz.
To AfterBuzz.
To AfterBuzz.
Guys, drinking is the answer, we found out tonight.
To everything.
Yeah. But no one really thought that it would turn into what it is, and it's, 27 million or 23 million, like, every single week downloads, which is crazy numbers. No one's getting those online. And we were filming, from 5 p.m. until midnight every single night in both studios. It was just so draining on, the engineers and stuff, and we needed to expand. And so having that third studio, it just makes sense when we're getting these commercials in. If you're able to do commercials on 2 shows at a time, you get that much money. If you're able to do commercials on 3 shows at a time, you get a little bit more money. So that's just really, you have to spend money to make money. And creating the studio, it's such a versatile space. I mean, Maria does her own podcast in here, and that, what is it? Conversations with Maria. And then we have other networks that we have out of here.
Black
so
Hollywood
it's really,
Live, Books That Go Online, Not Me a Movie. Chatting with Kathy.
So it's such a versatile space, and even though it does sound like a lot of money, they are going to make it back, I'm sure, tenfold with all the advertising revenue that we're getting through AfterBuzz.
Absolutely.
And the studio was like half done too, so for a guy that's gonna be driving Keven crazy. It's just there. I just want to be working on it. I just need the money. That had to have been a big part of it.
The biggest change was, we used to call this frat boy studio because it was like this huge open space where we used to have like our Christmas party and stuff. And now it's this theater screening room and this studio. And that was, the drywall went up, everything went up. All we needed was a couch, which I think this was gifted, so it was free. And then
I was going to say the couch that Maria
that was not a couch.
Make it to studios.
No, who would have gotten a lime green couch anyways, though? So the couch, and then I think we needed lighting and the TVs, and that was really it. So,
and all the cameras. It's a 7-camera multi-studio, which is crazy. And I just think that, like you said, it went as quickly as it possibly could. And the other reason there was such demand was because we're a fan-based network. And when fans want us to cover shows, and we are literally booked in 2 studios, we can't pick up any more shows. You can't have staff here until 2 a.m. You can't really ask them to be here any earlier than noon, which is when everybody or whatever it is.
I was here at 10 a.m.
But we
every
do
day.
it for
I'm
you
here till
guys.
midnight.
Right,
So
people do it anyway, but it's like it's a lot of hours and people get wiped.
And they're also after shows, so you really can't start filming them any earlier since the shows don't air earlier.
Exactly. Right. So there was such a demand for shows. People were saying, "Why don't you cover this show? Why don't you cover this show?" And we were like, "Because we don't have space." And then we realized, okay, so we need to make space. and I was like, there's no way they can do it. And of course they did, because Keven and Maria figure it out like every single time. They always figure it out. So it's amazing. But I think that it was a really interesting point that you made, Steph, about how it's got to drive a man crazy when something's halfway done. And this entire episode is kind of, I don't want to say emasculating because I think of that, but for Keven, he must have felt like, wow, it's just not very uplifting for him. Like, about my sperm. About my studio, right. You know? He's not really, nothing is going the way he wants it to. So I think that was a big theme of this episode, that it was a moment for him.
Well, see, I kind of feel like it was an moment for Maria in the end of it. I mean, not with the sperm situation. We all know what's going to happen with that. But as far as like AfterBuzz, I think it is important because I'm sure, obviously, you know what I mean? You're on TV every day and you have all these dresses being thrown at you. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I want to buy the dress that I want to wear.
Yeah.
I want to wear the purse that I want to wear. And Maria doesn't do that. And, it can, I'm sure, get to somebody after a while. It's like, well, wait a minute.
Where's all my money going?
I don't, to build AfterBuzz, we weren't making money. We were just doing this thing and building this thing and kind of testing it out and making sure it ran properly,
taking a chance with it.
Right. And so I can see where it would get frustrating for her, but at the end, all Keven needed to say was that one little sentence. Every girl has a Louboutin. Every girl has a bank account. Not every girl has an AfterBuzz. And Maria's just kind of like,
okay.
Yeah. I think no one really saw what happened the 3 years before, where Keven originally said, all we'll need is a couple microphones and that's it. And now it's like this huge multi-million-dollar studio and production, and it's crazy. So
it was supposed to be only like
it was a podcast,
right?
We were on Blog Talk Radio,
right?
It was only supposed to be like one podcast, and now it's
we started with Jersey Shore, and it was just, we were kind of just messing around and having fun
in a dark room.
In a dark room. Honestly, one time the electricity went out and we actually did the show like sitting on the ground. I think I was like drinking wine or something while we were talking about Jersey Shore. But honestly, it never was supposed to be this thing that could really be huge and monetized and incredible. And like we talked about last week, such a startup for so many hosts in this business.
Yeah.
When once they started seeing what this could actually turn into and where the future of new media was going, and they were like, we got to do this. And sometimes Maria needs that little push from Keven, They have very different personalities, and she couldn't see the bigger picture at the time. And every time he was like, we got to do this, she was like, what are you talking about? We have to do this. I don't even see what you're saying. And I think in the end, she agrees with him that this place turned out amazing and it is worth the money they put into it.
Yeah.
This is something that every couple can relate to that's watching the show, because not every couple has their own studio, obviously, but every couple fights about money, and that was the root of this episode.
Right.
So Kevin's the spender, Maria's the saver. That's what the issue is here.
Right. I love Costas' line, how he called her... what do you say?
Money hungry?
She's money hungry, but she's cheap. And I'm like, wow, that's a bad combination.
Yeah. And it's bad, like she said, when Costas is calling her cheap and he's cheap himself, she's like, maybe he's right.
I think
and there's things that like you could hear all day long, but when your dad says you don't want to come off like you're money hungry, it's like, maybe that, like when your dad tells you something, you listen.
I feel like this is a good step for them as far as parenthood goes, because there does come a time where the parents, the kids get older, and I'll be the first to say I have called my mother first.
Call my mom first.
Because if I need something, I ain't calling dad, because my dad will be like, where is it? How much is it? Why are you asking me for it? Yeah. Why isn't your money going towards it? Why? My mom will be like, don't tell your father.
Exactly. I'll put it in your account today. It is. You have to know which parent to go for what. Yeah. So it is kind of a step towards that. Example. But I think it's interesting because it shows that Maria really is thinking about having kids, and she's thinking about saving, and Keven is thinking about spending and how they can make more money.
Yeah,
so
he's thinking about spending, but he knows because in the long run it's going to make
pay
more.
off.
Right, exactly. So they're thinking about it a little differently. He's thinking about growing all this money, and she's thinking about putting it away because in case something happens, they need some sort of savings. But I think as he said, he bets on her, and he's betting on her right now, saying, we don't have to put this all away. We can spend it to make more because you're going to the top and you're winning.
I also thought it was really relatable to see them argue, because when you look at Maria and Keven, you think like very established in their careers. They've been at it for a while. Like, I argue with my husband about money all the time, but that's because I'm broke half the time, Like, so to see someone so successful still have to have that conversation and have that talk, just like regular people, was very relatable.
Oh my god, that was the best. I was sitting there watching. I'm like, you would never see this on like the Kardashians or like any other reality show. I'm sitting here looking at Maria like, wait, you have a great job.
You're making a lot of money.
Why are you thinking like that? But I mean, just the fact that it does, you know what I mean? It just shows how down to earth she is.
Well, I think also coming from like a hard-working, working class family like Maria has, she's seen what it's like not to have a lot of money. So it's like having it, you want to invest it wisely because you don't want it to go away.
She's like, I don't want to go back to that basement.
It's also though how many people she's supporting, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of people within this house. We already see all these people that are living there, and then she's kind of supporting all of us. Look at this studio. Look at what it's doing for our careers and our
Kevin
lives.
calls us his kids, so financially they are supporting us a little bit.
When she says her family, like she's not just talking about her and Keven
and we
the dogs.
and Kevin even came in here last week, and secretly people, when they don't have a place to live, they live at the studio. I mean, they do everything for them, so it's like really they're supporting a lot of people. You wouldn't think when you look at her, oh, she has money problems, but a lot of people have money problems, so you never really know where somebody's money is going and how much they need it. I just think that it's interesting, like you guys are saying, it's very relatable, and you would never see that on the Kardashians or any other
show for the Housewives.
Or even because, and I'm sure that they're all going through the same situation, but to put it out there and say, you know what, we're all just real people. Like, let's really talk about it. Let's put it out there.
And
amen.
It follows through to the sperm conversation, which I don't think a lot of men would put on national television, which is why Kevin's so cool.
Especially when they couldn't deliver at the doctor's office.
Oh,
BYOS, baby.
I love that.
So
learn something new.
A lot of people don't know this, but I was actually there at the doctor's office.
You went to the
I had to drop off
Were you
paperwork.
motivation?
What? No. Kevin is like my big brother. That's gross. I was there because I had to drop off paperwork, and like that was such a hectic day. But the sperm doctor was actually very, very mean, and Joe and Kevin were joking the entire time. I think that's why like the doctor was very professional, and Joe and Kevin obviously they like to joke, so he was not okay with that. But there was this poster on the wall. Fun fact: there was a poster on the wall by the receptionist, and it was two iguanas, and they were like back hugging, and it said, what was it? I wanna Iguana something, but I have a reptile dysfunction. Yeah, so it was hilarious, and Joe just started cracking up and like showing everyone, and almost got kicked out of the office.
I mean, when you know your friends are like out in the waiting room,
but I have a reptile dysfunction. That's what it was.
Could that doctor be more awkward? Like, have your parents told you that your testicles descended?
I know. Like, do you have an infection? Like, don't you think that's something he might have mentioned?
Yeah. He's asking him about puberty.
Well,
Kevin's facial expressions were hilarious. I was like laughing out loud.
I know, it's unbelievable.
BYOS.
It's too funny, and his reactions with Joe, them joking about it, that's their personalities, that's their interaction, that's their relationship. So I think that the doctor kind of should have sucked it up and got used to it. It's an uncomfortable thing. If what somebody needs to do is joke about it to get through it, then let them joke about it.
Yeah, I know.
And try to play along if you can. I mean, I know he's supposed to be professional, but you could see that it wasn't helping Kevin the way that he was so matter of fact about everything.
Yeah. And we were joking about it in the office for weeks. Like, ever since they brought that up, like, we were talking about how Kevin had to go get his testes. And
exactly.
Well, I loved when he was at the house bringing his own sperm, and he was so determined. Like he like walked out that bathroom like, I'm going back to the doctor.
Isn't there a I don't know this for a fact, but isn't there like you have to bring it in a certain amount of time or else it goes bad?
Well, I'm sure.
I mean, you saw how she ran out that day. Super sperm.
He was running out the door pretty quickly.
So I believe the question is, does sperm spoil? And I think the
I
answer
think it
is
does.
yes.
You have to keep it on ice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure does.
Should bring that in a little baggie there. No, but I think it's really cool that he actually did this, and he didn't even want to go through with this, and then to do it on national television. I mean, we're all curious to see what happens, because yes, we were joking about it at the office, but it's not really something we talked about afterwards. We all knew we went, but
I don't think it got brought up in the last 6 months.
yeah, no.
Sure. I mean, how are you going to bring that up? You know, hey, Kev, like, what's going on with the little guys down there?
Yeah, like he's not gonna brag about him. Like, oh, they're all good.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be like, oh
Or
no,
something's wrong. It's like, that's an awkward conversation to have with,
absolutely.
Kevin's probably used to the awkward conversations at this point.
Well, how about the awkward conversation when Maria calls him and to bitch at him while he's trying to
My pants are at my ankles.
my pants. Just unbelievable and so typical of their relationship.
Yeah.
Like, amazing.
I was surprised she didn't laugh, though. Yeah, I was surprised. Like that's how serious this was, because I'm surprised that she just didn't just stop,
right.
die laughing.
It's pretty funny.
That
That was
pretty
an
funny.
ill-timed phone call.
A little bit.
Absolutely. And honestly,
Wrong kind of fantasy there. Maria.
once he says where he's like, I'm here, she kind of kept going with it.
She was like, well, okay. She's
How
like,
am I supposed to know?
Lowest that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, maybe it would have been nice if she was like, oh, okay, honey, I'll send you that pic now that I took earlier with Rachel.
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
Louise is pissed. She's so mad at us. I'm sure Kevin wants to be thinking about his accountant while he's
Total hottie.
smacking
Yeah.
one. So, but wait, can we talk about the Chili's moment where Maria eats everything
Potato skins.
and still
Okay.
looks the way she does?
But
Mind you, Rachel is, first of all, what kind of meal is that? She ate a jar of cucumbers with some guacamole.
Okay, in all fairness, though.
Do they have that at Chili's?
I didn't know they
I
served
don't think so, but
jars
I'm
of
sure they have cucumbers and guacamole. And she was like, "Do you have those two things?"
I'll
Great.
just have this.
All right, so
Hollywood diet.
here's the thing. Rachel says, oh my gosh, I work so hard. I can't believe you do this and you just look like this. And then we see Maria work out in almost every single
That's what I was going to say. Is
True.
that I saw Maria work out more in tonight's episode than I have in the
Ever.
last 2.5 years.
Real life,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Not that she doesn't. I mean, because, Dancing with the Stars, she's always
Yeah.
working out, but she's cool. She eats like anything
Potato
she
skins.
wants.
Whatever she
Potato skins
wants.
are her favorite thing in
potato
Chili's.
skins.
Yeah.
If you saw that episode of Bar Rescue, she wolfs down those potato skins, and she'll go have a beer. She'll do whatever she wants. I just think that she also does happen to do a little jog there.
Yeah.
Maybe she was exaggerating a little bit when she said she'd been on there for 41 minutes. But
But I mean,
know.
also, the other thing I will say about her is she knows all these little tips, like
yes.
when to drink water, when to do just little things, like you're drinking water at 57 degrees. No, you should be
She's
drinking
always
it.
drinking warm, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, every girl's guide to let you guys know. She knows everything, and she was. As we
Every
talked
girl's
about
guide
on
to
the
diet and fitness.
And
Comes out June
Oh,
2nd.
there's Phil. Who was that?
show.
June 3rd. June 3rd.
Yeah.
I knew he wouldn't be able to stay silent.
One of the biggest tips that both Keven and Maria do that's helped me actually lose weight is they drink hot water with lemon all the time, and it just kind of it fills you up, but then it also helps you digest.
yeah.
Well, because most of the
Yes.
time that you think you're hungry, you're actually thirsty and dehydrated. And yeah, they do always do that. And we saw on the show, it's not like she's always had this body. She did struggle, and she just found what works for her. And fortunately, while she does that, she can also have her potato skin. So good for her.
She
and
really
Rachel's
doesn't-
tiny too. So Rachel, I don't know what
exactly.
you're complaining about.
Tiny.
I know.
But Maria is also blessed. She doesn't work out that much, but it's also a lot of her job is running around
Right.
Universal Studios for extra and then all that.
And she says
Chasing.
that. She's like, I'm always running around like a crazy person.
Yeah.
When you're standing for 6 hours a day, you're burning a lot of
Yeah,
calories.
she has the same thing you have. What is that? Stepping?
Fuel band.
Fuel
Yeah.
band. She's always like, yep, I
Counting
have
my calories,
3,000
counting my fuel
steps.
points every day.
Well, not to mention too. I mean, there's so much on Maria's plate that the stress of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all heard of that.
Potato
People-
skins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know people lose weight when they're stressed, you know, and all of that stuff. You
Yeah.
know?
I need to find
Comes
more
in-
of that kind of stress. I'm getting all the
Sign me
bad
up.
stress. Shoot.
What are you guys thinking though? Okay, I want to go back to the sperm doctor thing
Yeah.
because he does go to the sperm doctor and we don't know what happens, but is this something that, if it does go one way or the other, that you feel like is going to be an issue for them, or they're going to work through it? Like, are we going to fight about this, or what kind of relationship is this going to...
I think it depends on how badly somebody wants kids. Like, if Maria really wants kids...
Which it seems like she does.
It really does. It seems like she wants kids earlier than Keven does.
Absolutely. Even though he's older than she is.
Right.
Because if she's going to have her own children, the time is now. So... I don't know. Is it going to cause stress on their relationship?
I don't think it's going to cause stress. I see them being more the kind of people like, okay, we got to figure this out. We have to figure out what's going on here, so that way we know what to do moving forward.
Yeah,
so if it is just shooting blanks, or if maybe, my eggs just ain't working, like, let's figure it out, so that way we have to look at what our options are. I think it's more that kind of
Maria wants to be proactive about it, and Kevin's just like, I don't want kids right now. Forget it. Like, let's put it off. But if in 5 years Keven does want kids, I know, Rex. Thank you, Rex. I feel you. This is all I kept thinking while watching that whole thing play out at the sperm doctor, is that 5 years from now, Keven wants to have a child, and there's something wrong with him, and he could have possibly prevented or fixed the issue today, so that later it's not even an issue at all. He's gonna regret not going. I think going to the sperm doctor was like awesome.
So you think it's good that she convinced him?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's been a big theme throughout the whole season so far. Maria's saying, I don't want to down the road regret something by not checking on it now. And this is definitely a team effort kind of thing. I don't think it helps anyone to point fingers or blame, because it takes two, you know? So...
And I think Keven and Joe kept joking about it. They kept using the line, Maria's making him do this crazy shit. Like, you know what I mean? Maria's making him do something crazy, this crazy shit. But this isn't crazy at all. She's being like a responsible adult.
No.
I don't know any man that wants to go to any kind of doctor, though.
No.
So
That's why I think it's
at the end of
great
the
that
day.
it's happening. I think it's good that it's put on TV, and, I just seeing, how Keven and Joe deal with it in such a boyish way, it would make me feel more comfortable. Like, oh, okay, I can go laugh in front of the doctor too.
And because
your sperm is inspiring all the time.
It's interesting to bring that up, though. The relationship between the two of them, because at one point Joe says, "Poor bastard." And I'm thinking to myself, does he mean because he has to go get tested, or does he mean, or not his sperm tested, or does he mean because it's on national television, or does he just mean what Kathy's saying? No guy wants to go to any doctor, and all this is happening with the budget too. A little bit of all of it. Yeah. Poor bastard. Yeah. I love that though, and the dynamic. By the way, Joe with his one-liners, man.
Joe was killing it tonight.
Like, Joe breakout star. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we need him back in the studio, too.
I think he's still taking girlfriend applications. So.
Wow. Can we get an update on that?
Was it his country girl? What was the girl?
No,
Kirsten Dunst.
Girl next door, I think.
Girl next door.
The cute girl is what it was. Yeah. That's Joe's type.
A playmate? Like a playmate?
We made him take a...
not the girl next door. Like the cute girl, like the more quiet, petite, the cute girl.
Like the Katie Holmes
the other girl
Scientology.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Okay. Good example, Kathy.
That was a good one.
You get it.
Okay.
You're with it.
Dawson's Creek.
Exactly. She was the girl next door.
Joe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The climb through the window girl.
Yes.
Joe wants a Joey.
Clarissa explains it all.
Clarissa, yeah.
Okay, so we joked about this earlier, but Maria at the end of this episode, or towards the end, she says, I think that drinking is the answer. And obviously she's making a joke, but they're so stressed out that they literally don't know what to do. I mean, because we love them so much, what advice do we have for them right now? Like, obviously, okay, go have your glass of wine, but what do we actually think that they should do about the budget, about the sperm? What should they do?
Well, for the sperm, I think Maria's on the right track for sure. And then the business decisions, I would say listen to Keven, just like her dad said. Listen to Keven. He knows what he's talking about. And Keven said to Maria before, he's like, when have I ever steered you wrong before? So I would say business decisions, he seems to know what he's talking about. And if she can just kind of like let him handle it while she's at work, because she's like, I can't be everywhere at once. I can't know everything that's going on, and I can't micromanage him. So I feel like if she could just bring herself to let him kind of make a few more decisions on her own, then she can worry about like, okay, kids, what do we need to do now? I'll make the doctor's appointment. So I feel like they're kind of getting on the right balance right now.
Okay.
They need to split the duties.
Yeah.
Well, it's very clear. Like, it's funny, we hear this all the time, right? How opposites attract. And we're starting to see, like, you know, how where Kevin's strengths are and where Maria's are. And you're absolutely right. I think, you know, in terms of being the woman, the mother, the nurturer, that family, you know, Maria's much more there. And then Kevin's this business-minded person, you know, and I think you're right. I think letting Keven run with that, he's never going to steer her wrong because they're in it together. You know, they're doing this together. And Maria just trusting her gut when it comes to family issues.
Yeah,
and all
she's not going to steer him wrong by making him go to the doctor because they need to know, bottom line. They need to know as soon as possible because there's no protection for a year.
And no pulling out.
That's what I was surprised.
crazy.
I mean, today they really clarified that they were not pulling out. It's like so
awkward.
Yeah.
The pregnant lady over here.
It's awkward, but
The pregnancy expert.
I'm starting to think maybe something is going on because
Jessica, over to you.
We did it.
This is what my girlfriends and I. Sorry if this makes it so much more graphic, but we call it the pull and pray.
Right.
Yeah, pull pray, of course.
The pull pray, yeah. So if you aren't on birth control and you're not trying to get pregnant and you're also not trying to use condoms, you pull and pray. But
Well, Keven, pray for me
Praying
too. Then,
didn't
because your
work.
prayers are working.
So they could have used more balance in both things, though, because with the whole getting a sperm tested, I feel like that was a necessary thing that they needed to do for them as a couple, but it was publicized with everyone. So maybe they could have been a little bit more discreet, whether, you know, it was just Maria reaching out or having just Pat or one person reaching out to schedule that as opposed to, you know,
Showing us.
everyone in the office
But they knew it
knowing
was
the
going on
entire
TV.
family. I know, but like everyone knew. And so I think that made it more uncomfortable for Keven. And then in regards to the budget, I think that they actually balance each other out really well because even though Keven, I feel like he does know what is right for their business and Maria's brand, he does sometimes need to be reined in because you can build a great studio for 50 grand as opposed to 80 or 100 grand.
Right.
And that's where they really balance each other out well.
Yeah,
I honestly
absolutely.
can't like reiterate, like, especially with the sperm thing, so many couples around the country are having this conversation. So it's like to see it on TV, it couldn't be more inspiring, you know, to know that like celebrities have these conversations too. Or
It's been
celebrities
taboo
are
for
just
a
like,
while.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I know we say it was awkward and it still is awkward. It doesn't make it any less awkward, but like they put their charm on the awkwardness. Like I don't know, like I love it. I love it.
And the money issue too, because there's probably girls that were watching and thinking, oh, you know, every day I think maybe I'm with the wrong guy because he's a huge spender and I'm a huge saver. Maybe I'm with the wrong person. But then they watch a show like this where they've been together 15 years and they're just fine. They're fine. Everybody fights about money. And like Kathy was saying, it's a good, you know, mesh because if they were both spenders like Keven, they would be broke. If they were both savers like Maria, there would be no AfterBuzz. So it's a blessing that they're so different.
Best of
Absolutely.
both
And
worlds.
The pull, what were you calling it?
The pull and pray. I was like the pull and pray.
That's a different segment.
My bad, head in the gutter.
Push the pull.
I
guess actually.
The two things, though, I think that we're kind of forgetting about is number one, Maria went and got tested too.
Yeah,
it's not like she was like, Kev, you go get tested because you're the one with the, you know, she went and she's in the clear right now. So it's not
All
like
eyes
it was,
on him.
Exactly.
Right.
And the other thing is, if you know Keven, which we all do, and we're about to share with you guys, he has so many ideas, and if she greenlit every idea he had, they would still they would live in a box somewhere, you know.
Kathy used the perfect phrase,
living
rein
in the
him
studio.
in.
Yeah,
He has to be reined
exactly.
in.
So it is about a balance and the push-pull. But, you know, he calls me probably like twice a day being like, oh, did I tell you about, and like he'll tell me some, and I'm sure he does it to all of you guys too. And I'm like, all right, Kev, well, that's good. Let's take it back a step. Let's see. You know, we like talk through it, and then by the end of some conversation, she's like, you're right. No. And at the end of some, he's like, I'm doing it. I'm like, all right, well, I guess it is your guys' money. If you want to do it, I'll try to help. But it is that balance. So she did go to the doctor also. So she's doing her part. And he does have too many ideas, so she does need to rein him in sometimes. But this was something I think was a good decision that they made to spend money on. obviously I'm a little biased.
And in Kev's defense too, like he says, it's really hard to sit there and be told like a child that you can't spend your own money.
Right.
So
I think a lot of couples have that problem too. It's more often you see it with a husband who's working and a stay-at-home mom, you know, and she'll, at least growing up with my family, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad worked, and she would get so mad when we go out to dinner and be like, "Thanks, Dad." You know, she's like, "It's our money. We're a family. You know, it's my dad and yours." And I do feel like Keven and Maria, they are business partners and they are life partners, and it is their money together because you know,
they're a team.
Without him pushing, she wouldn't have been able to pull.
Right.
I think that it is an important thing, and being told what to do with the money that you feel like you've partially earned is hard.
But how great that they're even having the conversation, because let me just tell you that I have friends that are married that don't have these conversations.
And I'm like, girlfriends about it.
Yep. I know about the shit. My husband doesn't know how she feels about it. And I'm like, listen, you're talking to the wrong person here. You're not married to me. I'm like, I can't do anything. So I just think kudos to them. I mean, how awesome that they're having these conversations that are just so important, and they're showing people like, hey, if you want to have a successful relationship, like this is what you do, and it has its ups and downs, but communication is key, and you have to talk about everything.
If
you
you're
have to
passive
talk about
about
the
it.
little swimmers. You have to talk about the, you know,
the broke
budgeting,
walls.
easy stuff and the hard stuff.
Yeah, it's just no subject can be taboo.
And I loved it because I hope that there are girls out there or guys out there watching this, and you know, young watching this and saying, you know what, look, I want, you know, I feel like I need the Jordans today. I feel like I need the Louis Vuitton bag. But wow, look at all the things that they have. And, you know, you would think Maria's spending this stuff and she's not. And, like, you know, to hear Keven give that little pep talk, that was, like, my favorite moment from it. Because it really sits there and it makes you think, like, yeah, maybe I don't need that, because, you know, it keeps me
invest in
personally
yourself.
Want to keep working towards the goal. And when everyone's out partying and all that stuff, and you're at home just working, you're like, damn, I really want to be drinking right now.
Well,
you know what it's for.
She even said that in her book, and I've said this before. I bought her book right when I moved to LA, and I remember reading the part, and I'm sure it's Kevin's wise words, that she was just like, he's telling her, you know, you don't need that purse, the purse that's popular right now, because you're going to be out $3,000 that you could have used on something else. And so I always go back to that moment in her book.
Rex agrees.
And even without the Louboutins and whatnot, she's still on every best dress list. And
what is she doing that I taught you guys today? She's what?
Shitting
on everyone.
In case you guys are confused, when you're shitting on something,
Apparently
it's
that's
a
good.
thing. Yes, just like Kathy's hair, it's shitting on everyone.
Kathy's hair is shitting on me.
But Rex isn't shitting on everyone.
That's right.
No, because Rex I will have to leave the studio.
No. Okay, but it's funny because right before we saw this episode, we were actually just discussing like, ooh, which boutique do you go to? Where do you buy that? How cheap is that? Where can I get this? Because it is now about looking good when you're in this
takes
industry.
care of
You
herself.
don't have to be rich.
That's another thing that I think they talk about in the book is Keven, when Maria's career was first launching, they went to like the H&M equivalents to buy her entire wardrobe. And that means like when you're on camera on national television, they were buying clothes from like the Forever 21s and the H&Ms. So you're spending $12 on a dress and, you know, $20 on shoes. It doesn't have to be expensive. You just look good if you get it tailored a little bit. But yeah, like that's what they were doing. So it was investing in more so the things that would help her down the line as opposed to the things that were trendy right now.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very smart.
Smart
that Keven.
It's really smart. And this episode kind of moved me. Like, you know what? I look in my wallet and there's zip. Like, nothing in there.
Nothing.
But okay, you know.
Gives me motivation.
Yeah.
Means I'm going to be doing something too.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but when
we all know as hosts starting out that it really does take money to make money, and it makes me feel that even on that level, they're still struggling with it and dealing with it. Like, should we spend our money that we've worked so hard for? Yes, because we have to make more. So it just makes me feel a little better. Like, well, not great, because then I know I'll look forward to that for the next 15 years. But to know that even people on that level are struggling with, should I spend the money that I've worked for to build things? And yes.
The answer is yes.
All around us.
But again, we're a little biased here.
Well, this was one of Kevin's good ideas that I mean, it's awesome, right?
Yeah, has
This was
he had
such an
any
amazing
bad
idea.
ideas that we didn't know about, and that Maria would be like, "I told you so."
That'd be Phil.
I'm sure he
Phil would
has.
know. Yeah, Phil would
The
know.
party next week.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad idea.
Wait, what's happening? What's happening?
Okay.
I thought it was a great idea.
It was a great idea. It was a great
At
idea.
your party.
Yeah,
and
we
it
had
was-
fun.
So now that you're officially part of the AfterBuzz family, hopefully you'll come to the next one with us. If there is a next one.
If Maria loves.
Yeah.
I know. Does that bring us to predictions, guys,
Sure
about the party?
does.
I mean,
What happens?
And
Roxy, you said you saw yourself on
your
somebody's
AfterBuzz
shoulder.
yeah, I see that leopard bikini and I'm like, that's me.
Roxy's like,
That's
I
me.
just saw myself in a bikini on someone's shoulders.
Yeah. Probably
don't
not
know.
the best look and wickety wasted.
And Jesse was DJing.
I was DJing. Let me tell you, all 4 ladies in here were twerking.
I was bartending most of it, which
Yes,
was
were
actually
bartending.
bad because then you have easy access to the drinks.
I was right
Yeah,
next to
you
you,
gave
baby
me a
girl.
lot of drinks.
Kathy
I
was, yes,
remember.
you were my shot girl for that.
Yeah.
She had these Jello shots, just like, want a Jello shot? Like,
But
That's
most
hilarious.
importantly, we all remember the moment where Maria found out about
Um,
it. No spoilers, but she finds out and it's not a good thing.
and she showed up.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
It was, they showed it on the thing.
Yeah.
But she showed up? Okay.
They also
good.
showed the
All right.
moment that Keven was jumping
Jumping
off of
off.
something. Oh, God.
I think people will be surprised though to see which members of the family are actually on board with this party next week. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
this
saw
shows-
Costas
We saw
in his-
one.
Yeah, this shows
in
the
his
dynamic.
fluorescent shirt.
It was a
Yeah,
neon
summer
theme
shirt.
party. It was a neon
Oh, that
theme.
makes sense. I saw a lot of neon. I was like, wow, this is like
Yeah.
1985.
Yeah, I really think that Keven and Costas are kind of similar, actually. Like, their antics and the things that they want to do.
Especially after
And
that.
Kevin
day.
could make a business out of throwing crazy parties.
Yeah.
Oh, for
because-
sure.
Oh, yeah.
An event planner. Kevin, the event
Side
planner.
job.
That's what we should just do. We should just throw AfterBuzz parties in every state.
Yeah.
I'm into
Every
it.
state, every
Traveling.
city, every
Every
5
city.
miles.
Yeah.
Every 5 miles.
What'd you say?
She said every 5 miles. Oh, they're an AfterBuzz TV party.
I think that's good.
We should go to each AfterBuzz's hometown and throw
Oh
a
my
party
gosh.
there because we all come from all over.
AfterBuzz parties coming to a place near
Yeah.
you.
All right, and we're not going to talk about it anymore because if Maria watches this,
She's
we
gonna
have to
be
run it
very
by
mad.
Kevin.
Yeah, she can't know that he planned it to be a neon party. He planned everyone to come. Like she probably still thinks that it was kind of like, oh, they just brought their friends. I didn't know that many people were going to show up.
I know,
That's
I
funny.
know. If you are curious about where the party near you is, you can go to iTunes or YouTube, rate, comment, and subscribe. Talk to us. We're always there reading every single one of your comments. You guys are amazing, as always. We love hearing what you have to say about the show and about us and everything like that. So you guys keep killing it.
I think the word of the night in many different aspects was pull.
Or shitting.
Or sperm.
And
So there's a few.
There are.
Or AfterBuzz.
Yes.
I would say AfterBuzz can be the word of the night.
AfterBuzz was the word of the show, the episode for sure.
Yeah.
We dropped it like 100 times.
Like it was
Love
hot.
it. So not just Kevin wearing AfterBuzz shirts and shorts every
Yeah.
single episode. I swear he does own other clothes, I think.
Maybe.
I pulled a Kevin today. Make sure you guys check out our sister network, Black Hollywood Live.
Good. It's a good plug. I like it.
Wait, but tell what's the difference between Black Hollywood Live and AfterBuzz?
They're
Black
sisters.
They're they're sisters.
From different sisters. though.
Yeah, so Black Hollywood Live
Same
is
as
the
the-
first online network dedicated solely to African American entertainment.
Oh,
So we have tons of shows. We have tons. You have what is it? Breaking Into.
Breaking Into.
Where you guys
Next.
interview what
Breaking
type of
Into,
people?
we interview people about how to break into their particular field in the entertainment industry, whether it's PR or entertainment reporting or being an agent or manager and whatnot.
Next. Very
Then next we interview up and coming artists in the entertainment industry.
And then
Yeah.
you have the beat.
The Beat, a music show. We have a hot topic show, comedy. Like name a topic, we're covering it over at Black Hollywood.
We had
Very cool.
Caduce as a guest a while ago. I used to help
cute,
produce
yeah.
for BHL. So
Lots
yeah.
of familiar faces
Yeah.
for portraits and everything.
And Kathy has a show too. Tell us about your show.
Yeah, Kathy.
Yeah, I have Chatting with Kathy right here on AfterBuzz, where mostly interview up and coming stars and then YouTube celebrities. It's a lot of fun.
Girl, you got some numbers on that show.
And some very familiar faces.
Yeah, I have Max Schneider is actually coming back. He was one of my first guests. He's on NBC's Crisis, and he was YouTube sensation. So I'm
And
really
now he's
excited
on
for that.
A Crisis.
Yeah.
Get it going.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that every day? Daily show?
No, it's usually about once every other week.
Okay.
Whenever we have guests booked. Tonight I was at the Voice Red Carpet, and Christina Grimmie, one of the YouTube girls that I interviewed a while back, she's now top 12 of The Voice. So
What?
She's like crazy. She's got like 400,000 Twitter followers and 2 million subscribers on YouTube. It's ridiculous.
Kathy, you are shitting on that show.
Did I say that right? Chatting with Kathy is shitting. I still don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm like
shitting on
shitting. It's shitting on other shows.
It shits on other.
It's weird when you take away or add one word or a couple letters. You can say it's shit or it's the shit or
Or I'm serious.
completely different connotations.
Why isn't it
not
shat?
shat.
Like
No
why?
shat.
No, I understand.
Don't try to make
Sometimes
shat happen. Shat's not gonna
Shot
happen.
just sounds weird.
it's
Roxy
that
Striar,
shat, okay?
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
the
you can.
shat.
I think the shat.
I'm gonna make.
Oh my
That's like the name of a
Just you guys
show.
wait.
That was
The
the
Shat.
William
The
Shatner.
Shat?
That was the chat.
Hosted by William Shatner. The Shat.
I'm gonna pitch it to Kevin.
That pilot idea. That's the next
$1 million
show.
idea. Kevin's gonna produce it.
Hey, I mean, come on.
Hilarious.
We have over here. We have Anatomy of a Movie, which is another network, and then
Book
what is it?
Circle
Book
Online.
Circle Online.
And Black Hollywood Live.
What is the second one?
The Shat.
Book Circle
I
Online.
haven't heard about that
Oh,
one yet.
it's our book. It's amazing. They cover all the books and they talk to people and they talk
Like
to
a
authors.
book club?
Yeah, it's basically like a book club. And I honestly am telling you, if I was still in high school and I was like, ooh, I got to find out more about this book. I have a test on it. I'm
Do you just promote cheating?
No, I want to find out more about it. More
hilarious.
about it.
Okay, that's what
It's
we're
a
talking.
companion podcast. It's not the sole.
Right. You have to read the book.
Comedians.
I'm not fronting. I
That's what Spark
plagiarized
Notes are
every
for.
damn thing in my school.
Listen, I didn't plagiarize, but
I did.
But these tests are
Cliff
hard.
Notes.
Yeah.
Cliff Notes were my best friend.
And-
Oh, yeah.
And now
In
Book
high
Circle
school.
Online would have been your best friend.
Oh
so.
yeah,
That's a great idea.
Totally. Love it. I'm so in.
Anyway.
I'm in. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Y'all tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
At DJ Jesse J.
Steph Bauer TV.
At I am Jessica King.
And you can find. Oh wait, Kathy. Hello.
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly.
Thank you, Madame. And you can find me on Twitter at Susie Castillo. Thank you guys so much. Kathy, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, Rexy.
Thanks
Thank
to
you so
Rex.
much.
Very vocal this episode.
Yeah, he was. Rex was like,
to
I
chime
agree.
in.
He was agreeing and disagreeing with us. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.